everybody, Texas Stroker here, Lance's Performance Shop, Mopars.com. Sunday afternoon, trying to get some cleaning done, trying to kind of, as I mentioned in the previous one, number 71, trying to just figure out how to throw these together. I know, and I mentioned it in the last one, people say they don't like the one brand type of a deal, but honestly, it just made sense to do it here. And if you can't figure it out from the title, the thumbnail, and start of this video, it's going to be Hazet. So, this stuff, ironically, was not bought together. It was kind of like strung out across a couple of months, but as fate would have it, it just here trying to figure out what to piece together for, tool haul, it makes sense to just put this stuff as it is together. So what we have here on the bench is what really started my let me just, before we get into that, number one, spend over 75, get free freight. Spend over 100, get a German tool sticker pack. And somewhere over here, any order you place, whether it's like $1 or $100, you get a bit of things. This still was the Philo bits. They've now switched to VIT, which is kind of exciting if you keep up with that stuff. But back to this, I want to tell you, I have timestamps down below. I have links. I still make nothing off of that. I do it solely for your convenience. If you want to click the description box and see what all's in here, skip around, you're welcome to. If you want to come back to it and click and go buy the Ratchet, you can do that too. But what really started me with Hazet is like the super expensive, like disproportionately expensive. You come in, and like Vera and Viha, and Philo, they're like, you're like, man, this is like cheaper than Home Depot, and you're getting something that like not from China. It's pretty cool, right? And then you step it up and Ghidorah's kind of, up there sometimes, and then Stavilla's a little higher. Sometimes you can get good buys, sometimes they're super expensive. And then Hazet is just like up here. Like there's times you can get Stavilla stuff with promotions and sales for like really fair prices. Hazet is just like in a world of its own price-wise, and I don't understand it. I'm not sure anyone does. This stuff could be dirt cheap in Europe, I don't know, but over here it's just like there's the price for cheap stuff, there's the price for your quality tools, there's the price for expensive quality tools, and then there's Hazet. And I don't get it, but that's how it is. And one of the things that I first brought in from Hazet, and it was of course on Tool of the Day or some promo anniversary sale, I can't quite remember, is right here. This is the 916 HP. This is probably my favorite half-inch ratchet that I own. It's been used quite a bit. I'm not sure that you can tell, like if you compare this 3/8 one to the half-inch, this is dirty because it sees a lot of use and it doesn't come clean. You can look at the anvil. I do everything from assembled junk, furniture and toolboxes to like put some serious loads. This is the strongest half-inch drive ratchet in the world unless something has changed. First time I saw a video on it, it was German Tool Reviews. Again, if you haven't checked his channel out, I encourage you to do so. He hasn't uploaded in a long time, kind of took a break from YouTube. That buries your channel, unfortunately. But if you like what I do, if you like German tools, he's got KC Tool Hauls. He's got really analytical, comparisons and showdowns. It's not biased, unlike a lot of the stuff you see on YouTube. It's all German based, of course. But I think if you like what you see here, you'll probably like what you'd see there. But this is basically what sold me on Hazet. And then slowly over time with the HP lineup, that's all that it was. That was like their gateway drug. Half-inch drive, HP. It's hyper fine. It's 90 tooth. It was a step up there. But it's also like the 1,000 Newton meter you can apply that to, which is absurd. There's virtually no way you could generate that yourself with that handle. But it's a statistic. It's there. It's really, really, really strong. I have breaker bars that flex. I have all kinds of half-inch drive ratchets that are longer that flex. That is a beefy, stout little thing, and it sold me on Hazet. At least they're ratchets, we should say. So coming in, when they expanded the HP line, I jumped on it because I was like, this is great. Like I love that thing. Let's go ahead and just like have a set finally, not have like some sleazy lineup of ratchets. It'll be uniform. And that's what I was working towards. I did it largely by Tool of the Day, and then on the anniversary of the HP's introduction, KC Tool did like this huge ratchet sale. That's where we picked up a lot of the stuff. I think they've done that twice. Don't hold me to it. I feel like it has. And then I've even wound up with the bit ratchet. I've got the quarter drive one. And then Hazet did something. They took the 916 HP or the 8816 HP and they added an S on the end. And that became the quick release version. So This, if you note, if there was any deficiency from my childhood growing up with ratchets, you know, it was everything at home was quick release, and they finally did that. And some people prefer that for convenience. Some people prefer this for strength. Some people think, you know, quick release isn't professional, whatever. It's like, it's what I grew up with Craftsman. It's what I kind of just like expect from ratchets. Granted, a lot of the stuff at work is old school, didn't have quick release, but I can see it both ways. I like it. And then what I really like is when they put something that I know. It's not a deal where I'm curious, like, man, I've always wanted to try that, but when it's something that I know that I like and they've improved it, and then I can get it on tool of the day or some like crazy sale price, that's when I'm like, ooh, you know, this is a good buy. And that's exactly what we have done here. So this little guy is the 916 HPS. I've got to dig around and find, this is like 5 or 6 pages here of various packing slips. This thing currently is 133.96. The standard version currently is 187. This was on a big sale. We didn't pay near that. It was like one of those things, I'm like, we don't really need it because we have that, but the price point, man, the price point, the sale price, again, coming in, not being blind, but knowing that I'm going to like it, I couldn't stay away from it. And as you can see, the end result is having the ratchet in hand. So I'm going to slide this guy out, and you're going to get a look at the HPS. The 916 HP, my beloved little guy back there, now has an S at the end of the part number. Let's go ahead and zoom down there for you. Don't know why the tripod slipped, but it did. If you're curious what that said, you've got 916 HPS, made in Germany. Also on the selector switch, you've got Hazet. And that's it. This is what they did. They added the quick release. So you can kind of see it in work there. You can see the detent retract a bit. It's the exact same ratchet minus that. I do think this lowers like the ridiculous 1,000 Newton meter spec just a bit, but again, if that's what you want, if that's what you like, some of you might prefer this aesthetic. I don't know. I love the matte chrome here. The one gripe on this was always that, like, you've got matte chrome and then it just like turns polished on the head, and I never really understood that. I think that was something German Tool Reviews brought up in his. But it's just a deal where I love this ratchet, and this was a super nice expansion point for me. Now coming in, if you're like 8816 HP, like that was on the Black Friday sale, wasn't it? And the answer was yes, it was on the Black Friday sale. And you've seen me, I've got one of these for myself, an HPS. I bought one for my nephew. Like, I got him kind of, you know, low-end Quinn sockets and stuff, but I wanted him to have a good ratchet, and I'm glad that I did that because I had to use that Quinn ratchet set the other day, or I guess 2 weeks ago now it's been, and the ratchets are not bad, but the selector switch is constantly switching, you know, like it goes, and I'm in the middle of tightening something up or trying to break something free, and the ratchet just stops and it switches, and I hate it. So I was very proud of myself for getting him a quality ratchet. If they would fix the selector switch on those Quinns, it wouldn't be bad. It felt good in hand. I was pleasantly surprised, and then it was constant for like the hour or so that I was messing with stuff. Like, it just all the time. There's nothing I could do to stop it. It would just switch. You look at it wrong, it switches. It graces its presence against something, it switches. And that's not something that the HPS does. So I was thrilled there. But if you're wondering, like, hey, why are you talking about it? If you've got one, you got one for your nephew. I don't remember if it was tool of the day or if this was another Black Friday deal, but this is technically the third HPS I've bought, and if you're like, that's absurd, well, I would agree with you, but think of it. One of them was a gift. One of them is here for the house, and this one right here, the reason I'm not even going to take it out of the box, it's going to work. That's how well I like that ratchet. The HP line is just, I realistically should get an HP for work. I'd probably go this route and save a little money. Don't have to have the quick release. 3/8 is not as critical, so the quick release is a nice touch. But it's just, it's fantastic. I love them. The Stavilla 3/8 and the quarter drive, you know, those are like my early renditions into that. I love those too. The Stavilla 1/2-inch drive I got on like some Christmas Black Friday sale thing. Came with 4 sockets. It's a good ratchet. It's not as good. Like, it has a total different feel. They're 80 tooth. You know, that's understandable. 80 versus 90 here. But the 3/8 is like buttery smooth, and then the 1/2-inch is not. I haven't figured it out. I don't know if it's like a lemon. It's not bad. It's not defective. It's not like it skips or anything. It's not the same feel. It's kind of like if you took an old SK and you took like a 30-tooth gear set or 36, whatever they had, and you switch it with an LP90, and then you handed the same guy, you know, like you did that with 3/8, and then you handed him the 1/2 inch, but you didn't update the gear set, you'd be like, man, what's the deal? And so I can't explain that, but I'm very, very pleased with these Hazet ratchets, and especially, like, I'm not paying full price for any of these. We're getting them on anniversary sales, tool of the day, Black Friday sales. It's to the point where I've probably bought 4 or 5 3/8 and 1/2 inch drive that collectively add up to less money than I spent on the one Matco flex head. So you know, if anyone's like, that's outrageous, like, no, we're getting really good deals, and it's something that I truly like. If you see me continuously buy the same thing, and it's because I'm either like taking it to work or getting a set for work or 2 sets for work or giving them away, I typically try not to give away crap, you know, like stuff that sucks, you know. So it's just, they're fantastic. If you have the opportunity, whether it's Black Friday, whether it's tool of the day, whether they come in and they do like another HP anniversary sale, I suggest you take advantage of it. I don't see how you could be disappointed. Whatever you use the most, or if you have like your 3/8 ratchets are starting to skip, they're a little lackluster, whatever would give you the best bang for the buck, go that route. I don't think you'll be disappointed with it. And, sticking with that theme, this is something I honestly don't know how far back this goes. I don't know if I've already done this. I kind of think I know what I had in mind, and I think I must have filed the packing slip away. But this is Hazet's part number 858-1. Sets you back $17.14. As you can see my writing there. I must have known I was compiling this. And it is a 1/4 to 3/8 drive adapter. And if you're sitting here and you're thinking like, what? You know, you don't have a 1/4 drive ratchet here. What's the point? Why would you compile it with any of this stuff? Well, I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do, but I have a pretty good feel for what I wanted to do, and I still might do it. It might involve the smart case that we got in the advent calendar. But another tool of the day item, this would be, let me find it here for you. I had to wait a long time for this one to come in, like a really long time. It was the Hazet 2272 KL. This is going to measure 225 by 123 by 46. Standard price, $68.28, I believe. This thing showed up in August. I think I ordered it in March or May. And it's right here, and if you're thinking like, oh, you know, cool box, chrome vanadium, what's going on? There's that part number, can confirm, 2272 KL. Can we translate any of that? I can't. What's the deal? You got a box for $68. Well, we did. We got a box for $68. And some of you might kind of know what I was thinking of here. Again, this was tool of the day. And that might actually be what I stuck with it to get over the $75 threshold. Kind of depends on the price point, but this is super cool. It's in the Hazet blue or teal, whatever you want to call it. This is metal, okay? This is not like junk. This is legitimately a metal case. I'll grab this magnet. No trickery. That's straight up metal. It's powder coated finish. It's got the metal clasp, which is awesome. I don't like the plastic ones. You can see the hinge there. It's powder coated on the inside. And obviously our beloved 916s aren't going to fit, but look who does. That guy does. And what I was thinking, I'm not totally 100% what I'm going to do. It sort of depends on price points, sales I might encounter, all that stuff. What I want to do with this is, like, at work, right? A lot of the socket sets, you know, there's still like pieces and remnants of them, and the cases. The socket sets used to come in a metal case, right? So we've got like SK was in green cases, like Armstrong and KD and Eastco came in like blue cases. Proto stuff came in red cases, and if you had like a 1/4 drive ratchet and socket set, it came in something like this. You know, it was just sockets. It was like a little metal tray with a fold over. But if you had the ratchet plus the sockets, and it usually had like adapters, you know, up or down a size, and it would have like a couple of extensions. That's That's what I kind of want to do here. And I was thinking I would do 3/8 because that seems to me like the most diverse lineup, right? I can go small, you know, like I'd use with quarter, and I can go big like I'd use with half. If I go quarter, it obviously can fit way more in there and it's more compact, but do I really want to use a quarter drive ratchet to get like, you know, a 3/8 bolt, which requires, you know, 9/16 sockets off? I don't know. And so since this fits, and since we could fit some decent size, I think I've got the Black Widow across the shop. My apologies. We'll get the old Stanley out. It's basically like almost 8 3/4, so over 8.5 inches. Basically what you can deduce from that is a 6-inch would fit. This ratchet itself, just rough end to end, is about 7 3/4, right? So you roughly, if I pin it against the sidewall, there's about an inch there. Again, that's on the curve, so keep that in mind. But I can populate this. I can go SAE, I can go metric. Hazet sockets, sometimes on KC Tool, they'll be like, I don't understand why, but they'll be like in the clearance section or discounted, and it's typically not like a complete set, but it's parts of a set. And then if you save buying like 8, 9, 11, 12, 14, 16, and 18, then you only have to like pay money for the frequently used sizes. You're not in it near as much as you would think you would be. And I have considered foaming this. Again, everything back in the day, there was no foam inserts back in the day. It was just like you pick it up and everything rolls, right? Unless it's packed full. So I'm not 100% again what we'll do. There's also the option of going with the quarter drive stuff with the bit ratchet and having it just all stored neatly in here. The smart case from the advent calendar gave me quite a few sockets in the quarter drive size, and I've debated like moving them over, but I also kind of hate to tear that down because it's kind of cool the way it is. I've used it several times now since we've had it. So this is sort of a state of flux right now, but I'm kind of inclined to say I want to go 3/8 since it fits, and I believe it's like the most versatile size. Would I prefer 1/2 inch? Yes. You know, it's 1/2 inch overkill on a lot of things, absolutely. But with 3/8, it's kind of like the Capri sockets. That's what I bragged about them about. It's like they go a little smaller than you think they should, and they go a bit bigger, quite a bit bigger than you think you should with 3/8. And I love that because you can totally do it. And this is nothing like, I wouldn't put like 1.25 inch, you know, sockets in here or anything. But if I could go up to like 3/4, 7/8, 15/16, and then maybe like, you know, 6 through 19 and fit all, it's going to be a project long term over time. I'm not in a hurry to do this. I don't have to do this, but if I can like get a deal on a socket, if I go into KC Tool and the clearance section has, you know, a Hazet 10mm socket on clearance and a 12 on clearance, I might buy them, and then over time we just slowly will complete this. But that's kind of what I have in mind with this. And again, if this box would not have been on Tool of the Day, this would have been like a pipe dream thing, you know, like, oh, that'd kind of be cool to create that at some point in time. But it was on Tool of the Day, and that makes me like super excited about it. So that is what we have right here. Now, sticking with our Hazet theme, this was going to set you back 1915. Man, I don't know if it was Tool of the Day or not either. I'm inclined to say no, since it shipped with the HPS, the 3/8 one, but it's evil, that's for sure. Its part number is 666-1. And if you're like, whoa, you know, what is this, like the gateway to hell? Well, could be if it's used incorrectly or you're the victim of like a prank. This is a Hazet valve stem tool. That's literally all it is. What's my valve stem tool been in the past? I have one of those little 4-way deals, and it's usually the valve cap or my finger or a screwdriver of some sort. So having the proper one to actually depress, that's kind of what this side is. This screws them in and out. Again, Schrader valves, bike tire, automotive, whatever you need to use them for, this is going to be nice. And at the time, like this was not all Hazet. This was just me piecing stuff together for free freight, and this was sort of a wish list item. I nearly brought one in on the Matco deal, but I had already bought this one, so I thought, yeah, we'll see. And that's about all she is. It's got the part number there. Let me zoom in so you can see it. 666-1. Again, I don't make the part numbers, I just read them. And, it's a black plastic. It doesn't feel terrible in hand. It's not the most comfortable. It could certainly be worse, but that's all it is. It's just a valve stem tool. So we've got that. There's one more item. I debated like leaving this with a different tool haul, but I think we're just going to put it on with this one. And as you may have guessed, this is from Hazet. This also predates the Cutix arrival. Like, a lot of this goes back to August. Some of it was ordered well before August. But this item in particular is going to be part number 2157. Now, there's several 2157s. We've just showcased one recently, if that sounds familiar to you. But I believe it was 2157-1. This one is just straight up 2157, and it is $23.11. This is from Slovenia, so this is actually Hazet's home turf here. And if that looks like a little, you know, multi-purpose utility knife, that's what it is. So, I've not actually taken this out of the box at all. It's bagged up too. Here she blows. This is the Hazet 2157. It's pretty lightweight too, kind of like the Cutix. It's very, very... I don't know that I would ever use the word aggressive with a texture on an item, but if I had to, like, this is an aggressive texture, like it's kind of biting into my hand, not in a bad way, in a very nice, noticeable way. Let's see here. The cool thing, I've had a lot of people like, oh, you're crazy, you know, the Cutix comes with Tajima blades. Mine came with Lutz. Like, I don't know, I'm guessing it was like an early one. I had mine ordered ASAP, like as soon as it was humanly possible. But this right here, if we get a good look at it, we're not going to be able to, are we? Just, there's too much light, but you can see Solingen kind of, so this is a German blade too. That actually gives you a good look at this thing. It's got a lanyard slot. You've got Hazet and the part number upside down, because I'm not going to take the time to flip it the other way. You have, how does this even work, man? This is one of those like too safe for me to understand deals. So there's this little cam lock, and we switch that, and then we can go. That's a very, very positive click, I must say. The downside to this one is it doesn't have the stabilization bar. Again, this is like pre-Cutix type stuff. And I guess to permanently lock this guy, we would turn it like this. And now, yeah, I mean, I can't go out, I can't retract, I can't do anything. So it looks like a pretty good quality blade. If you look hard enough right there in front of that black tab, you can honestly see the Solingen. It's just, man, that reflects so much light. It's insane. Right there, use your imagination to complete the end. But this is what this one is. And like I said, I'd ordered these well before the Cutix, and I didn't really know anything. But let's take a look. It came with instructions, which is kind of rare. So, looks like step one is going to be to turn this. What is going on here? Step two, man, this is like strange. It looks like you can use this with a razor blade, but it's going to have to be like with a hole in the middle and then possibly 2 slots. So it must be more to this than I was aware. They call it a trimming knife. It's protected by patent. The housing is made of plastic, black, glass fiber reinforced, snap off straight, and hook blade. Really? Does this come with all those? We're going to have to dig into this one, apparently. Let me zoom that out so you can actually see the knife. I'll just read about it. So, multi-purpose knife with magazine handle for spare blades. This might be cooler than I knew. Locking button is transverse direction. Blade is secured for cutting. Locking button in longitudinal direction. Blade and fixing device can be shifted and or taken out of the magazine handle. Select the suitable tap at the fixing device for the drilling hole in the straight or hook blade. Select the tap. Select the suitable tap for the snap-off blade as described above in step 3. Use the slot of the end cap in order to snap off blunt blades. And then you can spare blades can be ordered separately. So part number 215704 will get you the snap-off blades. They say 7 breakaway parts. 2157-05 is your straight blades, and 2157-06 is the hook blades that will give you 10 per package. So, not making any of this up. You can see it right here. There's kind of the funky little directions there. It'll probably make more sense as we just do it. And then there's everything I just read to you. So, this may take a while, but right here, this would be like the screw they're talking about, the cam. So it's totally locked. If I turn it down, we're able to then come in and go out or retract. I kind of want to see, how do we take this apart? Whoa. Okay. That's how we take that apart. So we'll set that down. I'm going to slide this guy. Okay. Oh, Lord, they did it. Okay, cool. So check this out. I still do not know how to get the Cuttix blades, but this is the razor blade I talked about. It's very... I'm not sure I have any with hole patterns like that, so it might be a one-off deal for Hazet. And then we've got this one right here, which is our hooked one, which I've wanted to get for the Cuttix for quite some time. I'm going to try to zoom in on these for you. It's crazy, looks like a little crab or a spider. You're welcome. Now you can't unsee it. I'm going to bring it up here so I can read it easier. This is Solingen, Germany is up at the top. And then it's EISGEHARET. That's what that's looking like. And I want to do the same thing for the razor blade. Stereotypical default configuration. That's what I'm looking at now. Same setup, Solingen, Germany. And then it's... Ice Cart, and again, totally butchering that, I'm sure, but this is how they were packaged. And then this guy, I'm hopeful you can finally read Solingen on here. No, I'm not lying to you. They're kind of like, see it? Solingen, you can at least see that, and then this is Mozart. So, I guess the other brand doesn't offer those blades. I'm not 100% sure, but this is... I had no idea when I bought this. I thought it was just like a snap-off knife, and I was going to compare it like to the Picard and the Heiko, right? But this is a little bit more complex than I thought. The downside, yes, you get one of each blade, but you only get one of each blade. So, a little buzzkilled on that front, but... Here's the body. This is absurdly lightweight as well. I'm going to go ahead and try to see if we can put this back together. And that might prove to be difficult. Yeah, I guess, okay, so there's a little rail. And these just rolled all the way down it. But see how there is the front section and the back section? Put those in the back because that's assume where they came from. And then I don't know if this would go up front. That's what I'm going to do. This just kind of came apart on me. So this is this mechanism here with our tab selector and detent. And so I'm just going to, whoa, those guys are rocking and rolling. Get that in position and slide this down. And something, oh Lord, try not to cut myself there. Oh, there we go. Okay, so it'll go. It was just something I was doing wrong, I guess. So now, while that's actually functional and intact, let's put this together. And that'll kind of cap the magazine. And boom. So yeah, it's not quite as fluid as the Cuttix, but I also kind of think I probably am supposed to get those locked in the back. But that's kind of an interesting little item. So again, around 23 bucks. And you will, if you love this, you're definitely going to need to get blades probably when you order. I'd still get the knife first and then order blades just to be safe, not throw your money away. Kind of a cool little deal. I'm pretty happy with that purchase. So we'll try to use this. I've gotten so accustomed to the Cuttix, it's kind of taken over for me, but we'll have some fun with it. We'll see what we think of that little thing. Pause that since we were about to time the card out, but that means this video is approaching the 30-minute mark, and we've actually covered everything I wanted to. So, we picked up the 916 HPS, quick release version of the 916 HP. We picked up another 8816 HPS quick release version of the 8816 or 3H drive. We got a valve stem tool. We got this pretty sweet little knife. Again, Hazet 2157. 2157-1 was that sort of like cheap Chinese pocket knife one that we got. We went over the part numbers for the blades. I'll try to link those. I don't know that KC Tool has them, but I guess they could order them, probably. If I remember in editing, I'll like come in and link when I type out the description. I'll try to link to each one of the blade types for you. That is way more than I thought it was going to be, like in terms of like coolness and functionality, you know, like multiple blades. This is kind of a little clunky, but I guess it's also fairly robust in terms of safety. And then again, turning it up, you know, 90 degrees, I guess the way to look at this is like parallel with the blade, you're going to be fine. And then if you clock her 90, it'll lock it down type of a deal. So for whatever reason, I'm unable to do that. But let me just bring it up to my face, kind of get a better look at it. You can see the line where it's supposed to go. Not sure. I must have it out of position. No, I don't. It's just weird. It's kind of need like fingernails, and I don't have them. But now I've got it upright, and we're not going anywhere. So it's one of those like safety knife things, I guess. It's big in Europe. Has to be by law, what have you. But I'll use it, see what we think of it. But like I said, I'm currently on a roll with the Cutix still. I mean, that thing has the paint worn off. Like, to give you an idea, like when I tell people I cut a lot of cardboard, I don't think people like fully grasp that, like what I'm talking about. So that's why I have so many Cutixes, and that's why I'm hoping I can eventually find a source for the Lutz blades. I'd like to stick with what I had because I've been happy with them. So with that said, though, maybe the most exciting for some of you will be this metal case. Now, I'm sure a lot of you bought this as well when it was Tool of the Day. It seemed like it created quite a bit of interest online. If you did, and you have it, obviously you would have it by now, what did you do with it? You know, do you have plans similar to me, like build a socket set? Were you just going to store, you know, Hazet bits in it? Were you going to put your ratchets, bit drivers? Is it just going to like store I don't know, oil cans or collectibles or cash? Like, what are your plans with your Hazet metal case? And what would you advise I do with mine? Again, I'm sort of leaning towards like a 3/8, possibly SAE and metric, although it gets a little spindy. You know, maybe we like substitute some sockets, you know, and still have the Hazet experience by way of the ratchets. Like I said, it'll come together over time, but I think it's going to be something that you'll see. Check in periodically on the channel. And it looks really good. And again, on Tool of the Day, can't argue. Dang near everything, but maybe the Valstim tool here was like sale promotion. Or I guess this guy wasn't. And that may have actually been, I don't really remember. It's been so, like I said, some of the stuff is almost a year old. Some of it, you know, was like ordered in May and showed up in like the fall. So cut me a little break on that front. But pretty cool little tool haul here. Again, the 8816 HPS, and I'm tapping over here off to the side. That guy will be going to work. But just love those ratchets. Again, if you get an opportunity, don't buy them full price. Wait for a sale or Tool of the Day or something. And if it's a deal where you need another 1/2-inch drive, if you need, you know, like a 3/8 to do something for you, if you're unhappy with what you currently have, wait for a sale, bring one in. It's just a great ratchet. So if you don't care about the quick release, get the HP version. You know, don't add the S at the end and you'll save 20-30 bucks. So I mean, it's an even better deal on that front. But just personal preference on that, or just, you know, trying to budget it out, you know, and going with the non-quick release version, which is actually a little bit stronger too. So you have that working for you. But with that said, it is getting cold in here. I'm probably going to go put the door down. Still daylight, which is awesome. I hate it being the black abyss of the night outside. So I'm going to wrap this up, cut some cardboard down, ironically. These boxes that we've kind of cleared way of. And let me know your thoughts on all this stuff. If you got any of it, if you use it, if you're as big a fan of the HP lineup as myself. Again, what you did here, what you think of this little guy, especially if any of you actually use this. I'm curious, you know, like what blades you like and why. But yeah, LoneStarMopars.com is the website. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all three at Lone Star Mopars. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. Again, leave your thoughts and opinions on everything down below. Help people out. That's kind of the end goal. I've got everything linked for your convenience, timestamps as well. And last but not least, if you really like what you see here, I encourage you to subscribe. It's free, doesn't cost you anything. YouTube should notify you, but if not, jump your charger across the creek, ring the bell, and have your Hazet 916 HP out, because it's the world's strongest ratchet, And they just might let you know that we've got new content out every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Texas time. Same thing on Wednesdays. And with that said, I hope you have yourself a fantastic weekend, and I'll catch you back here for more action from the shop.